So how have you grown through participating in Aspire?
Aspire, it challenged me to make time because I've done other programs, mentorship programs before, but it was always kind of in the back of my mind. But with Aspire, I came in with the mindset that I'm gonna make time, and I think I've really grown with that to understanding where I want to prioritize my time. I think I learned more about myself. Yeah, I think Aspire with the discussions we have and the topics that we work on together, it really helped me understand more about myself and why I feel the way I do, especially with the Asian American identity.
I've grown a lot, personally, because of the whole social justice thing. We talked a lot about that, and I went to a retreat, and it just made me realize there's so many people I can go to when I feel like there's something wrong or there's injustices in the world, and it made me realize that I can do bigger things besides just my everyday school and friends and stuff.
Personal growth only happens if you're willing to put work into it, and this year I've been really focusing on that aspect, so it's really helped me to push myself and to start to be more vocal and say the things that I've been thinking in my head. And it's also been really, like I said, validating because once you say it out loud and people hear it, almost always the reaction to it isn't terrible, and some other people actually say that they have similar experiences, and it makes you feel like you're not as alone as you thought you were. Yeah.
So how has learning about your AAPI identity impacted your college journey?
I think learning about my identity, it's made me realize where I want to put my energy on and what I want to focus on. Before college, I didn't really care about social issues or any of the AAPI issues because I think I was never really exposed to that, or I didn't know that it was a thing. But coming into college, being surrounded by other AAPI students and going to workshops, being part of Aspire, it made me realize that that's a part of my identity, and I need to care for it, and I need to do what I need to give back to that community.
I think that my college journey would be very different if I didn't learn about my API identity. I think I might be more hesitant about my opinions and sharing them, and more okay with the current systems of power that are in place. And I think that I would be worse off for it personally because I would just be there would be so much unaddressed and untreated self-racism and self-doubt. I think that if I hadn't learned about my Asian American identity throughout my college career, then I would be a very different person, and I wouldn't have had as much confidence in who I am as a person and my identity, and I wouldn't have had as much pride in it as well if I didn't learn about it.
I didn't really think about AAPI until I joined Aspire because we have a lot of talks about that. I just always considered myself Hmong American, but I never really had this bigger identity of Asian American or Pacific Islander. So it greatly impacted me this year, and it's my junior year in college already. So it made me feel there's still so much for me to learn. As a junior, people would think oh, you're wise, you're almost done. You've learned a lot already, but there's still so much more, and it just made me realize that I'm a part of this bigger community, and we're all here together to stand together towards all the oppressions that might come our way, obstacles, and there's still a lot of work to be done, and I'm a part of it.